And every time I came back to Denmark, I got this feeling of being back home, of being back where I belong. And then I thought, okay, then I am a Danish, Muslim, Egyptian kind of guy. I'm just a different kind of Danish. And some Danes find this very suspicious. Some Danes get scared. They go, how can you love Denmark and Egypt? And I try to explain it to them in a Danish way. The Danes are very sexually liberated. So I tell them, look, it's like this. When it comes to women, I'm a monogamist. But when it comes to nationalities, I'm a bit of a swinger. Today I'm 41. I'm not afraid of fitting in. That's not my biggest fear anymore. My biggest fear is getting out. I've become too Danish. I've gone too far. That's possible, and maybe there's no way back. My Arab friends, the few that I have left, they're starting to laugh at me when I try to talk like them. They go, Omar, you're not one of us. Omar, you're leaving us. Omar, you're leaving us. And I say, listen, Habibi, it's Omar, you have left us. Not Omar, you're leaving us. Omar, you have left us is the correct word to inflect a verb. Is there more hummus? That's my social fears. Social fears and emotional fears are much stronger than physical fears. And the only thing that's stronger than social fear and emotional fear, that's religious fear. If you're gonna talk about fear, you've got to talk about religion. In my religion, it's pretty simple. A true Muslim only fears God. We're only supposed to fear God. And that's why you've never seen a Muslim horror movie. Because it wouldn't work. You know the classic scene where the couple is laying in bed and the wife wakes up and says, Ali, I think there's a three-headed alien monster in the basement. Ali would wake up and say, so what? Are you more afraid of the three-headed alien monster than God? Go back to sleep. That scenario, or the only other possible scenario is Ali waking up and saying, I am so sick and tired of you and this marriage. Finally, I get to go to paradise. Jihad and just running against the monster. Horror movies in the Middle East, there would be no suspension, drama. Just us running towards our death fearlessly. Taking off our shoes. Yabni kalb. Horror movies don't work in the Middle East. In Baghdad, you don't need a horror movie to feel terrified. You just walk outside. And religious fear also becomes a tool for parents to control their kids. Some people use religion to scare the kids into behaving. My mom did that. Don't speak like that, you will go to hell. Don't lie, you will go to hell. Don't look at that woman, you will go to hell. I was very aware of, as a kid, of not ending up in hell. Don't touch that, you go to hell. You go, oh my God, I just wanted to look at the Lego car, for God's sake. It's only a Lego car. I'm a grown man now, older and wiser. I'm not going to hell. I'm already there. I've just gone ahead. The fear of God gets so misused. If God wanted you to blow yourself up, that's what people say. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid I'm going to die. If God wants me to die, I'll die. Now, how do you know that God wants you to die? Why do you blow yourself up? Maybe God wants you to grow old. Some people think it's an automatic pass to paradise if you blow yourself up. I've always thought of this as being unfair. It's like a shortcut to paradise. I have to live a long life, filled with temptations to get to paradise. You're taking a shortcut. I live in Denmark. We have some of the most beautiful women in the world. They're sexually liberated, and they drink more alcohol than they do mineral water. That's the temptation I have to face to get to paradise. But I'm not going to paradise, I'm going to hell. I drank alcohol. You know why I started drinking alcohol? I got so tired of my Danish friends calling me 3 o'clock in the morning. Because if you're out drinking and you need a ride home, who do you call? O'clock in the morning, and drunk people always shout, Omar! Omar, where are you? They have to tell you how pissed drunk they are. I'm pissed drunk, man. Come pick me up. Where are you? Yeah, I'm standing right behind you, dude. Just put down the phone and I'll drive you home. I think that's how most of us get into driving taxis. It kind of just dawns on you one night. You go, I should be making money off of this. My world is full of temptations. This week alone, I've touched 2 Lego cars. Don't mind him. 2 Lego cars and the breast of a 25-year-old teacher. No, I'm just joking. Didn't touch the Lego cars. Fear is everywhere, in our thoughts, in our action, even in our faith. But the good news is, you can get rid of fear, because something wonderful happened in Egypt. And it's a long time since anything wonderful happened in Egypt. It's 5,000 years ago anything wonderful happened in Egypt. The Arab Spring. I saw the people of Egypt rise up against the dictator, Hosni Mubarak, that had for 40 years scared them into submission. I didn't believe it at first, but the Egyptians were fearless. Then I wanted to be there on the Tahrir Square. I wanted to be fearless and a revolutionary. I wanted to shout, the people demand the fall of the establishment. It was so inspiring. I wanted to bring that revolution to Denmark. Yes, you're laughing. Because in Denmark, we don't need to fear our leaders. Have you seen our Prime Minister, Helle Thorning-Schmidt? She's not scary. I could take her easily. I could. The only time I would fear Helle is if she was a lonely blonde sitting in a bar. And I was going over there to get her number. Then I would fear her. Because that could be one of those rejections you remember to the day you die. Helle just looking at you and going, maybe my popularity approval ratings are below 18%, Omar, but I'm not that desperate. But I'm not afraid of our Prime Minister. Denmark is a small country. We are 5.5 million people. We've got democracy, welfare, and cable TV. We have nothing to fight for. Nothing to be afraid of. We have free healthcare, we have free education, we have a system that secures the unemployed, So almost nobody falls into economic despair. Most people in Denmark have nothing to fear at all. Life is pretty secure, and most people in Denmark are satisfied. So why start a revolution? Well, you see, that is the problem. If you feel satisfied all the time, you end up feeling nothing. I love Denmark. I think Denmark is an amazing country. But perhaps we've become too comfortable. Being too comfortable all the time is dangerous because you end up numb and feeling nothing. Being comfortable for a long period of time makes you emotionally numb. Who wants comfortable sex? You don't want your sex life just to be comfortable, right? That's why 50 Shades of Grey is such a popular book. Right, girls? Because it's dangerous. But it is also quite nice. It's only a book. You could read some fear and put it away. Go back to your comfortable husband and his safe sex. Yeah, that killed the audience. I heard that the Taliban are translating 50 Shades of Grey so they can show their women that they're not that bad off. Bad off. I don't know how you say it in English. Look how they treat the women in the West. I'm just saying being comfortable all the time isn't a good thing. That's why we like watching horror movies here in the rich, free Western world. Because the feeling of being terrified for us is a luxury good. We have to invent stuff to feel fear, just so we can feel alive. I actually think we've reached that point now where we're starting to invent and imagine stuff that can scare us silly. Just read the front page of newspapers to know I'm right. They're just trying to scare us now. Here's an actual headline I saw a while ago. The headline said, "Eggs can kill you." You go, really? Eggs are dangerous? Yes, we did some research, and eggs can kill you. It's so we all get that small shock every day when we open the fridge and go, "Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, there's 12 of them, 12! And they're brown! Must be a gang!" Here's another actual headline for you. The killer snails are coming. The killer snails are coming. Really? Like even Peter can outrun them. The headline that got me the most, this is a few years ago. A Danish girl, she won the Danish version of X Factor. And on all the newspapers, the headline said, "Linda is risking everything going on social welfare." And I thought, that poor girl, risking everything by going on social welfare. That's Denmark in a nutshell. Risking everything means something else in other parts of the world. In Afghanistan, if you risk everything, you're not coming back alive. The Tunisian fruit vendor, when he risked everything, he burned to death. When Nelson Mandela risked everything, he spent 27 years in jail. Linda had to go on social welfare. In Denmark, we don't need a revolution against a dictator like Mubarak. We need a revolution against fear. And we have nothing to be afraid of. We're just scared silly. That's the revolution I want to start. A revolution against our silly fears. Are you up for it, audience? Yeah. Good. I'll tell you how we start a revolution. You start a revolution by being brave. That's it. Thank you. Goodbye. No, it doesn't work that way. You start a revolution by being brave. And then the next natural question is, well, how do you become brave? What is bravery? Where does courage come from? I tried to do some research, and if you look in the history books, apparently every person that's labeled as brave is a man. Which is bullshit and an insult to women throughout history. I could easily name 3 women that I think are brave. There's No, wait, there's Lara Croft, she's pretty brave, Lara Croft. And Catwoman is pretty brave too. And I don't know who's dating Woody Allen, but she does deserve a medal, definitely. Who? Laura Frank? Yeah? I'm pretty sure that women are as courageous as men. You just don't get credit for it. If a man is courageous, he's sexy. If a woman is courageous, she's intimidating. No man wants a woman that's more brave than he is. Imagine that you're home and a burglar creeps in. Imagine your wife saying, honey, you stay here with the kids. I'll go beat the burglar's ass. If that was my wife, I would go impotent for the rest of my life. That's why we can't give you credit for being brave, girls. Humanity would go extinct. But women are just as brave as men are. Even braver. Did you hear about that 12-year-old girl, Malala from Pakistan? She stood up against the Taliban, unarmed and unprotected. That's true courage. And there's something about true courage that inspires people. We can recognize it and it inspires us. So if we're going to start a revolution, we have to become courageous. And the best definition of courage I could find, it was an old Greek philosopher called Plato. And he said, courage is knowing what not to fear. Courage is knowing what not to fear. You have to know what not to fear. Because everybody is trying to sell you fear. Everybody is trying to sell you fear. Your bank and your insurance company are trying to sell you fear. And your doctor, he's got a name and a diagnosis for your fear. And the medical industry has a pill for your fear. And the beauty industry, they got Botox for your fear. And the fashion industry, they have just the right clothes for your social fears. And are you afraid of that your ass looks too big in those pants? Don't worry, because the food industry's got a soft drink for your fears. And the tech industry, they know that you're afraid of missing out, but don't worry, because they have a brand new gadget for your fears. Even your local pet store's got a watchdog for your fears. Your hardware store's got a whole surveillance system for your fears. Your drug dealer's got a joint for your fears. And your gun dealer, your gun dealer, no matter how big your fear is, your gun dealer's got just the right weapon that will take care of all of your fears. And somewhere out there, there's probably a comedian who wants to sell you a show about your fears. Everybody is trying to sell you fear. I didn't start doing stand-up comedy because I wanted to make money off your fears. My business plan is jokes